Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame induction ceremony. It is great to be with you here in Seattle this evening. We've got a wonderful program here to honor our great inductees, great athletes, and great snow sport builders. To kick things off this evening, it's my pleasure to introduce the president of the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame. How about a big welcome for Tom West?
Thank you, Tom Kelly. And thank you to all of you, especially to the Harry Leonard Chorus for their accompaniment of the national anthem.
Every sport needs its own version of P.T. Barnum, a showman, that special person who can bring the sport to life for the average Joe who might otherwise never be touched by the magic. For the sport of skiing, that person was Harry Leonard, the founder of the annual Fall Skiing Show, which brings the products, fun, and excitement together around the country, with thousands of skiers chomping at the bit for the first hint of snow. Harry's career began in a much different world, trying to drum up excitement of another product as a printer's representative and in the sale of newspaper advertising. An epiphany in 1956 would change all that, not to mention Leonard's life. He fell in love with skiing. It happened while on a weekend trip in Michigan's Upper Peninsula at the Pine Mountain Resort. Ever the optimist, he noticed that there were no guides to other ski areas around the country, and so he set out to publish one. His first Midwest directory was known as Ski Faring. The publication would open doors for Harry, including an invitation to organize the annual pre-season party of the Chicago Ski Club. Rather than just hosting a party, Leonard turned it into a consumer show that ended up attracting some 2,000 people. His career as a ski show impresario was underway. He organized a similar show in Detroit the following year, followed by New York City in 1960. By the mid-60s, his shows were coast to coast. Harry understood that dedicated skiers were desperate to get back to the slopes after the summer, and with that desperation came an eagerness to see all the new equipment and gear for the coming season. But just providing a preview was not enough. He also understood that these die-hard skiers wanted to be entertained as well, and he implemented many ideas that drew thousands to his show. Among these ideas was the ski deck, invented in 1961. Harry was one of the first to use it at his shows, and he brought skiing's racing stars to freestylers to perform, providing the wow factor. Skiing stars like Stein Eriksen, Billy Kidd, Penny Pateau, Jean-Claude Killy, and Wade Wong not only appeared, but performed at his shows, providing an essential ingredient to enhancing the public interest. Jerry Simon joined forces with Harry in 1964, becoming his ringmaster and chief promoter, as well as lifelong sidekick. Leonard's shows, operating under the name Halco Productions, were fun and entertaining, but they also became the place to meet and make friends with a fascinating array of marvelous people involved in the sport. The show proved to be an important factor in the growth of skiing throughout the 1960s and 70s. Although he retired from the ski show business in 1980 and moved on to other interests, Harry Leonard remains a highly regarded and unforgettable industry trendsetter, leaving an indelible mark and legacy which continues to this day. He is a charter communication member of SIA and organized the first trade show for the National Ski Areas Association. The recipient of many awards, Harry Leonard richly deserves his place in the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame as we now present him with the Medal of Honor.
Harry Leonard, having been elected by representation of the 15 million skiers and snowboarders in America, we hereby bestow upon you this Medal of Honor in Seattle, Washington, and confer upon you from this day forward induction as an honored member of the U.S. Ski and Snowboard Hall of Fame.
Tom West, in telling me how this was all going to happen, said, "How long do you think you'll speak?" And I said, "Well, I'll cut it down to maybe 20 minutes, half an hour." And he said, "Harry," he held up 3 fingers. So I'm going to try to get the whole sense of the ski show life into 3 minutes. The morning of the very first ski show in Chicago, in a hotel ballroom on Sheridan Avenue, there was a very light dusting, not even a quarter of an inch of snow all over the city of Chicago. I didn't know it, but the good Lord really smiled on that event because a lot of people showed up with very little promotion, very little advertising. Well, that was the first ski show blessed with this tiny snowfall, which meant a great deal to the people of Chicago. The second most interesting bit of luck that I had was that Everett Kircher at Boyne, who a really great guy, had Stein Eriksen come from Norway with his gold medal, his Olympic medal, and he was the spokesman for skiing at Boyne Mountain. I was fortunate that Everett Kircher happened to like what I was doing with the shows, and he said, if I send Stein over to be in your show, what can you have him do? I said, good Lord, I will build him a mountain if you will send Stein. And he said, well, I'll ask Stein and we'll see what happens. Well, Stein did come. He was the very first leading man of the ski shows, and he probably participated in 17 or 18 series of ski shows after that. This was my second great bit of luck because he really loved audiences. He loved talking to people. He loved gathering people. Half of them had no idea what he was talking about, but they all left his presentation feeling that it was possible that they could someday ski like Stein. Well, he kept this up for all those years, and his last thing was a huge multimedia chalk talk, and it drew literally hundreds of people in the audiences, and he really loved it. Stein was a performer. But one of the things he precipitated was that all the other heroes coming behind him, and let me see if I can tell you who many of them were. Tony Seiler, you saw a lot of them in the picture. Tony Seiler, Billy Kidd, Jimmy Huga, Jean-Claude, Ernie McCullough from Canada, and a host of other heroes all decided that they could do what Stein did. So they all sort of came to the ski shows and put on their own shows. They were never as charismatic as Stein was. He was our leading man. The second bit of luck was that Jerry Simon, oh wait, if I can forgive Jerry, listen, sweetheart, look what they've given us. Jerry, my dear, this is for you and me. And I know you're there. I'm on my way. I'll be there soon. And when I come, they say you can't take it with you, but if I can bring anything, I'm going to bring this, and I'm going to hang it around your neck. But anyway, Jerry Simon, my beloved partner of virtually all those years, happened to run into a beautiful lady named Barbara Alley, and she became the first lady of the ski shows and put ski fashion really on the map. Ski fashion was something that you could give, take or not take, but she made it so glamorous and so exciting that we give her credit for being the first lady of the ski shows. Then along comes Art Fuhrer, who was kind of a precursor. We didn't know it, but he was an acrobat, and he did somersaults on 6-foot skis on the ski deck, and nobody could believe it. And he had a lot of bumps to show for those. But he really kind of introduced the whole idea of trick skiing. And then who arrives but Wayne Wong and John Clendenin and the whole raft of you guys who became the freestyle skiers. Well, they virtually ignited the whole ski show scene. It got so exciting, they were in the air half the night. And they had trampolines and everything you can name. But that was another huge stroke of luck that we got Wayne Wong to come and lead this parade of freestyle skiers. We had other excitements, funny things like Cliff Taylor, if anyone remembers Cliff, who started the short ski idea, but long before it became popular. There was Corky Fowler, And of course, Ray Hall is the man, again, a bit of luck for Harry. Ray Hall invented the ski deck, and he was willing to come and build one right there in the New York Coliseum. And it was the most exciting thing that had happened to that time in the ski shows. Another aspect of the shows that was marvelous was our ability to gather all the volunteer people, the ski clubs, the ski councils, the associations, Ski Patrol, and the Ski Instructors Association. They all came, we gave them all the space they needed or wanted, and they created the element of circus life in the ski shows, all that energy and excitement and information. Let's see. I just have to mention that one of the epitome personages who was in that category of all the clubs and volunteers was John Watson, a dear friend of mine, and he's in the audience here, and Jane Wyckoff from Los Angeles, who isn't here, but who was a great exponent of that whole thing. In the ski media department, I'd just like to give a hello to George Bauer and Harry Kaiser, the two magazines that gave us tremendous amounts of help and promotion and got a lot of people to come to the shows. Let me see if I have missed anything. Needless to say, the shops and the manufacturers who came to show equipment, and this is all at a time when people really wanted to know what was going on. They were kind of in the dark because skiing was still in the 60s, not quite in the 70s, but they were still a little bit in need of information about what skiing was all about. And the shows, that was the show's primary job. Finally, I like to say at the, not the lowest level, but maybe the most important level of the shows were the kids. They called themselves the grunts, the guys that drove the trucks, that loaded the crates, opened up exhibits, that did all the low-level work. These were all little ski bums that were the dearest people I ever met. And they were so eager, and Donna Katina was their leader, and she rode around the show floor on her skateboard, trying to get these kids all to get ready. And when 4 o'clock came to open the show, believe me, everybody was really scrambling. But that's kind of a capsule of the shows. I think I could say that maybe the most important thing was that almost everybody who was part of the shows chose to give more than they took away from the shows. And that fact is what made him so great. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, honored member Harry Leonard.